Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Oh!
Hey, what's up? Get up.
Oh!
What are you doing in my yard? What? Take them iPods off so I can talk
Hey, what the
to you.
hell, man?
You're in my yard. What are you doing in my yard?
What do you mean it's my yard?
I can't even hold the phone because I'm shaken. We were just cutting stuff, and Nate yielded me over.
No, okay, hold on. Let's start over. Okay, we're at the house today, cutting down some trees, and our neighbor and another guy walk over, and they kind of stop me, and I come over.
Speak with my neighbors real bad.
I am gonna call the police. I am gonna call the police.
Okay.
All right, that's fine.
All right, have a good one.
So I wrote this little piece to update you guys on what's been going on. I call this Black in the Cul-de-sac. Pink skin, pink pants, pink petty parade. Complaining about my fence to agencies of the city.
Okay, I am crashing out and I need somebody to listen to me because I'm tired of bugging my friends with this. So this is going to be a story time about my psycho ex-neighbor who is still torturing me to this day, even though we don't live in the same complex anymore. Okay? So listen, please. We're gonna call her
to my channel. In today's video, we're diving into some crazy neighbor stories and wild story times you won't want to miss. If you haven't already, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. It truly means the world to us and helps more than you know. We're so grateful for your support. Now sit back and enjoy the video.
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Oh!
Hey, what's up? Get up.
Oh!
What are you doing in my yard? What? Take them iPods off so I can talk
Hey, what the
to you.
hell, man?
You're in my yard. What are you doing in my yard?
What do you mean it's my yard?
It is our yard and you know it.
The property line's right there.
The property line is on the other side of that hill. I told your old man that, and I'm telling you that too.
My dad told me I had to mow down here.
Well, your dad's wrong. This is our yard.
It's not though. The HOA
It
told me
is
it's
too.
specifically
It
my yard.
is.
HOA
too.
ain't got anything to do with my yard, kid. I want you out of here now. And if I have to tell you again, there's going to be real trouble. You got it?
I don't know what to tell you. I have to mow the...
You're trespassing. Do you know what trespassing is?
It means if you don't get out of our yard, we're calling the police next.
It
You
also
can't call the
means,
police. It's my yard.
It's my yard.
kid, this is my mom.
No.
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Oh!
Hey, what's up? Get up.
Hey, what the...
Go home! You need to go home. You need to get out
You
of
better
here.
leave now or it's this.
You better
got it?
go.
Go. And you tell your old man the same.
Get out of here.
Crazy.
Oh my God.
You better
You
watch
go
that mouth,
home,
kid.
yes. That
I'll
filthy
close it for you.
punk. Well, it's our mower now.
I didn't realize we were sharing our neighborhood drama, so please listen to mine. One day I heard screaming, so naturally, a nosy neighbor that I am, I go outside to see who's screaming. One, because if they need help, I'm going to help. And two, it's this grown-ass man getting arrested, and these cops are fed up with this man. I mean, like fed up. He's like, why the f am I getting arrested? It's like screaming. And the cop's like, you can't treat people this way. So one, I'm like, who are we talking about? Because him and his partner fight all the time. Like, we thought they were like drunk fighting. Turns out this is a lot more than just drunk fighting. So his partner's on the other side, hands a note to the maintenance man and is like, give this to him. So while this man's getting arrested, the maintenance man is like holding his ladder like, this is from him. He wants him to call him when he's in jail. And the cop's like, okay. So skip forward to, he gets out of jail and we like are smelling weird shit. Like I was like I thought like, we didn't know what it was. So we go outside and there's like this like thing, just like, it looks like one of those campfire like stoves almost, but it's not. It's for drugs. So we're immediately like, oh, huh. Well, we're not allowed to have fire in the apartment complex because it could burn down. But on top of like the open flame with like people who now are not in the right state of mind, my husband and I are like 911. Hi, I'd like to put in an anonymous report that somebody may be smoking meth, we think, or creating, there's like a lab. So then we kind of think like, oh, like maybe it'll be like, it's serious, they'll come. They did. And then we left because we were like, let's just not be here. Let's take our dog, let's go and go get frozen yogurt. And my husband and I are joking the whole time at frozen yogurt, like, what if we just told the cops to come into our place to look down? Because then they could see what we're seeing. I'm not even kidding. Hello? Unknown number calling. Hello? Hi, this is the deputy. Can we come into your apartment and see? Because they won't let us in. I said, honey, the cops want to come into our apartment. So we tell them, yeah, we're at frozen yogurt, we'll be there. So we come up and there's cops just waiting in front of our door, and our neighbor peeks out and is like, is everything okay? And they're like, yeah, your neighbors are fine, but not the other neighbors. So we let them in, and one cop's like ready to go. They're younger than us. And he's like, goes on the patio. We're like, please be quiet. We don't want them to know it's us calling. He's knocking everything over, looking, and goes, I need to call the bomb squad. Sir, it's a Wednesday night. We're calling who? He calls the bomb squad and says, I'm going to send you... Pause. We took a video of what was going on. And then the cop asked us for our video to send to the bomb squad. Hi, we're going to send you this video, and we want you to tell us what this is. Bomb squad guy goes, hi, I think that's a bomb. My husband and I go, officer, that's a bomb. And they go, oh, okay, yeah. Bomb squad guy goes, okay, that's not a bomb. This is a meth lab. We said, excuse me? And they said, we're getting all the paperwork together to get into that house. And the guy goes, I want to break it down right now. Because in our mind, we're thinking like, this is contaminating walls. This is going into drywalls. This could, I mean, we don't want to leave our dog home alone if something were to happen ever. And out of all of this, guess what happened? Nothing. So fast forward to a month later, all of a sudden we hear like screaming. Oh, this was like right before the 4th of July. And we go and look, and it's the guy who had gotten arrested and then did all this meth lab stuff. It was just like on his balcony, just and then throwing up everywhere. And we were like, do we even, like at this point we have called the cops for this location over 6 times. And that could be a different story. But yeah, if you guys want to keep hearing more, we got it. We got the juice.
I have not seen my neighbor's mom for over 2 years, and today I think I might have figured out why. Y'all, I just watched my middle-aged white female neighbor get arrested. I guess it's the story time, but I'm going to give y'all a little bit of backstory on this neighbor. So I've lived in my house for a little over 4 years. This lady has been in her house since I moved over here. All the people to both sides of me, the people across diagonally from me, all of those people have moved on, and there are new people here, right? Surrounded by white people before. Now it's all black people that live around me. I'm not a person who just really goes to try to get to know the neighbors and stuff. I mind my business. About 2 years ago, my dad historically cuts my yard and keeps my grass cut. And so my dad would come pretty early morning. So he pretty much would come after I got off of work if I was working on my stretch. And he would come around 8, 9 o'clock to come before it got really hot during the day. The whole process of my dad cutting my grass does not take more than about 25 minutes. I have a white vehicle, and so my dad always either moves my car or he makes me move my car out to the street so he doesn't get grass on it or rock doesn't hit it. When my dad started cutting my grass this day, the lady was gone, and I'm a real country gal, so I be outside barefoot. My dad had told me he was done. I was going to move my car. The lady was pulling up as I was walking out with my keys the first time. My dad said, girl, go put some shoes on. I go back in the house. I have a hall tree right at my front door. So I just grab a pair of little Crocs or whatever I had on. And then as I'm walking to my car to go and get in it and move it back into my driveway, the lady comes out to me and she stops me and she's like, oh, can you move your car? And I was like, I'm moving it now. My dad just came to cut my grass. And mind you, at this point, like I said, I had already been here for 2 years. My dad has always cut my yard, right? He's always done it at the same time. So I was like, yes, my dad just finished cutting my grass. She's like, oh, well, my mom gets a lot of medicine. They won't deliver it if you're in front of the mailbox. Mind you, I'm not even in front of her mailbox. But I also want you to realize here that it's 10 in the morning. Regular mail does not come till 5 p.m., right? Sometimes it's later. Sometimes it's dark. So it's like, girl, the mail people are not coming. And I'm standing outside. If I saw them coming, I would definitely move my car, right? But then also, this is a regular U.S. letter mailbox. If they had a package for you, me being in front of the mailbox would not stop them from delivering your package to your doorstep. I didn't do her as bad as I wanted to do her. And from that point forward, I think just the look I gave her, she's just not saying anything else to me. So fast forward, the people kind of diagonal from me, there was a family, and this was a police officer. He was white as well. There are so many people who come to cut yards in our little strip, and most of them are black men who have lawn care businesses. And she will be outside and she will cut her own grass, and she's never asked any of these people what their rates are and how much they would charge to cut her grass, right? She always will do it herself, or her grass actually will be super tall. You would think that the house is abandoned because she just lets the grass grow up, right? So anyway, so this white officer moves in with his family. He's out there, he's cutting his own yard. She stops him and asks him to cut her yard. And of course, he's a younger man, so he cuts her yard or whatever. But then I think that's an arrangement they worked out. But then now that family leaves, and so she doesn't have anyone else to cut her yard again. So going back to when she stopped me, something that she said was, my mother gets medicine delivered. And I used to see an older lady with her. She's like in her 50s or 60s. There would be a lady who looks like she was in her 70s or 80s. And the lady would be with her. The fire department came like years ago. I remember I was sitting at my desk and I was like, what's the fire department doing? There were 2 trucks. They were at that house. And I didn't really think anything of it, but I was just like, oh, I hope everything's okay. Because there wasn't a fire. They weren't even dressed out in their full fire gear, but they came, sirens ablazing. So I was like, what's going on here? A few weeks ago, she starts moving things out of her house. Waste management in my city will not take leaves and sticks. They're not going to take any furniture. They're not going to take anything from your house but trash and trash bags. They barely will get a box. So she had old mattress. The mattress is brown. It looks very stained, very old. I'm not gonna say somebody died on it, but it looks very stained, very old. So it's been out there for weeks and weeks. So I don't know if somebody reported it to, because mind you, she has it right on the curb. Some of it's actually kind of in the road. I worked B shift, and so I got home around midnight the other day. It was super dark, and I didn't have my glasses on. And I thought that I saw a big square of burntness in the road, in the street. And I thought my eyes must be playing tricks on me. And I thought I smelled a little bit of smoke. When I actually got up that morning, she actually had burned all that stuff because all the stuff was gone. And it's actually burned. I'm actually going to get up and show y'all. I hope y'all can see this, but this is how burned it is in the street. So as you can see, yes, there is a whole piece of burnt thing in the ground. And to me, it looks like it's about the size of the whole mattress she left out there. And I was just talking to my dad this morning. Hey, I have not seen the mom. I don't know if that was actually her mom or not, but I've not seen the older lady in years. The last time I distinctly remember seeing that lady was before the fire department came over that time. And maybe she's put the lady in a home, maybe she's whatever, but I pray that she's not done anything to that lady. And so I'm trying to get rid of a desk in my house. And I saw some police officers, they pulled up, they were sitting outside of her house. They had her driveway blocked. It was animal control for one, but there was also just a regular police officer. They have their bullet. And so today I went out and I was like, I'm trying to do some spring cleaning. I got a new desk. And so I'm getting rid of the old desk that I have. I want to see if there was a number to have waste management or someone else to pick it up, or if there was a place I could take it to dispose of it. Because I don't want to just have it in my yard for weeks and weeks at a time. And I'm obviously in the city limits. Burning is not something that you're supposed to do in the city limits. And so I went to ask the officers and I was like, hey, she had this person whose house you're sitting outside of, she had a mattress and some old things outside, but I see that her things are gone. Do y'all know of any numbers? Do y'all know if the city does that or whatever the case is? And they were just telling me or whatever. But then I go back in the house. And when my boyfriend comes, he was taking some stuff to his car almost 2 hours later. He comes back and up the hall and he says, hey, they're arresting your neighbor over there. And so I don't even know who he's talking about because she was not there. They had her driveway blocked in waiting for her. And so I go out there. The lady's like, help, help, help. She's cursing them out, y'all. She tried to run. There were 5 young officers. Mind you, they're all white men as well. When I got there, she was face down on the ground, but they were flipping her over so she could sit up on her butt and not be face down on the ground. And she was yelling, y'all. She was like, oh my gosh, she was cursing them out. You sons of bees, I'm gonna sue y'all or whatever. And they were trying their best. They pretty much had to carry the lady to the SUV. And I just wondered, what could she have done? When I was talking to the officer, somebody passed by and asked about some pit bulls. I was like, oh, were y'all out here with the pit bulls the other day? That's one of them. And they were like, no, you can't have those in the city limits. I wonder, was that lady harboring? Was she breeding pit bulls back there? Was she selling drugs back there? What happened to the old lady? I just genuinely don't know, because I have not seen that old lady, y'all. What do y'all think happened?
So let me tell you about the time that our neighbors moved their fence in a foot into their property to prevent our dog from jumping. Let me show you from the beginning. Okay, I'm gonna show you the fence that we had built that was butt up to our neighbor's fence. So on the inside of our backyard, we didn't put a fence there because the back end, the outside end of their fence was facing our yard, so we didn't need one. Let me show you. See what I'm talking about? Right along here was their existing fence. They are now So all the backstory to this is my son came to visit and he shows dogs professionally for a living. He is a professional handler. So he has client dogs more than many, right? He has at least 20 client dogs at any given time that he travels around the country with. So he came to our house, visited, brought his dogs, and they played in the backyard. So he has one dog. They are a tall breed of dogs that he has. But he has one dog who is, anytime she hears a noise or something going on, she wants to see what's going on. She wants to be a part of the action. She is also a Afghan hound, so they are relatively tall, and when they're on two legs, they can jump pretty high. We have a 6-foot tall fence in between us, in between the yards. So our neighbors would go out periodically. The dog only visited for 1 week. The neighbors would go out periodically and play fetch with their dog in their fence. And when they would do that, they would throw the ball against the fence, and then my son's dog, her name is Velma, she wanted to see what was going on. So what she would do, and she did this only 7 times in a whole week. So that breaks down to roughly 1 time a day. She would run, leverage herself a little bit with her front paws and jump so she could see over the fence. Obviously, we have no idea and way of knowing if she could actually see what was going on, but something tells you that she couldn't because she did it 7 times in the 1 week. So within that 1 week, the neighbor texted me. And we were never really like friends, but we never had a beef. So I get a text saying, hi, is there any way that you can make this dog stop jumping? I just want to protect the safety of all dogs involved. And I hate to say anything about it, but is there any way that you can get her to stop jumping? LOL. I read the text, immediately annoyed. I'm like, okay, do you guys realize what it is that you're asking me to do? You're asking me to make this dog stop being a dog. So fast forward to my son left and he was gone for 3 weeks. And then because he is on this side of the country, he is stopping in so that he can get rest in between the next show. So he was at our house for a week. So he comes back, the dog does it 1 more time because the neighbors are throwing their toy against the inside of their fence. And so our dog, Velma, wants to see. She did this maybe a handful of times, again, in the week that she was here. So my son is outside and he is grooming the dogs and he's with all of the dogs. The neighbor guy has never met my son at all. So he walks over to our side of the fence, and their side is a vinyl fence. Our side is a chain link fence. So he walks over to our side and he tells my son, he's like, hey man, is there anything that you can do to get that dog to stop jumping? We can literally see its whole head. Mind you, it's a 6-foot tall fence. This is a dog that is relatively 3.5 feet tall on 4 legs. So if it stands up, it's going to be pretty tall. So again, the jump is going to be pretty tall. So my son-in-law looks at him and he was like, aside from me just tying her down and making sure that she can't do anything but stay on a leash, no, I can't make her stop jumping. And my son was very, very nice, and he's very even-toned to begin with. Gets on my nerves. I need a little passion. Anyway, so he tells the guy, other than that, I can't. I will tell her no, and I have told her no, but I can't make her stop jumping. So then the guy proceeds to tell my son, just so you know, when you guys moved here, we extended an olive branch by letting you hook onto our fence, and we definitely have cards that we can play. Two things, everyone. Why is this guy addressing somebody that he doesn't even know if is related to us? He doesn't know this person from Adam. He's never seen him. So he's addressing like property issues with someone he's never even met. And then he proceeds to threaten him with, well, we've got cards that we can play. Okay, cool. My son comes into the house and he was like, hey, I just wanted to tell you that the neighbor came and talked to me, and he said something about he extended an olive branch and that he has cards that he can play. So immediately my switch was ticked. I'm gonna get to part 2 and just, you guys go look for part 2. So this is part 2 of how our neighbor had some cards to play. So he brought his fence in a foot. Okay, so where I left off is that the dog had done this, like, she was visiting for a week, so she had tried to look over the fence to see the other dog and what they were throwing at the fence. Okay, so she's pretty tall, Velma is. She's an Afghan hound. So anyways, my son comes in and he tells me that the neighbor just talked to him about making the dog be able to no longer jump. They don't like that they can see her head when she jumps to see what they are throwing at the fence. So he comes in and he tells me, and immediately I'm pissed off. Of course I'm pissed off. 2 reasons. The ones I stated in one is that he addresses the issue, property issues with my son. He's never met my son. He doesn't know my son from Adam. And also that his nice way of talking to the person he's never met is to issue a threat of, we've got cards to play. So I get my shoes on. I'm going to show you my shoes. I get my shoes on and I get my husband and I say, let's go. We're going outside. We're talking to the neighbor. So I go to our part of the yard and I text the neighbor and I said, hey, do you want to come outside so we can address these issues? I do have the text, so I can show you guys if I can figure out how to do it. So I said, hey, do you guys want to come outside so we can address the issue of the fence? They say, sure. It's a husband and wife. They come outside, and I'm going to tell you, first of all, if you saw the look on my face, you probably don't think that it's going to be a good meeting. This was my look. They come out anyways. She equally has an attitude, and in my opinion, she does not get the attitude. I understand that they're upset for whatever they're upset about, but remember, they came to my property, like, threatened my son and approached someone they don't know about property issues. That's crazy. So if you're a parent and your child, doesn't matter how old they are, your child is being threatened, you're going to be mad. Anyways, so we both come, they're standing on their side, we're standing on our side, and I'm always the loud mouth, and I am not going to be bullied by anyone. So we come outside and I'm like, so what's the issue? What is it that you guys want us to do? And I'm sure I said it exactly like that. And the guy was like, well, that dog, every time my dog comes outside, and I need you to know, ma'am, my dog is completely skittish, and so I am so scared to take my dog out because I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm like, dude, what is happening? My dog isn't barking at you. My dog isn't attacking you. She's not coming onto your side of the property. What more would you like me to do? And he was like, look, it's fine. They do it 9 or 10 times, but after 9 or 10 times, that's enough of the jumping. And I said, so what you're telling me for me to rectify the situation is you want me to tell the dog that they have a 10 jump cap, and then at the 10 jump cap, if she does it 11, what would you like me to do? He folds his arms and looks at his wife, and he was like, this is going nowhere. And I looked at him and I said, you're fucking right. It's going nowhere. Do you realize what it is you're asking me to do? You're asking me to have a dog stop being a dog. You're also asking me to give it a jump quota, and you don't have a resolve for what I am supposed to do about a jump quota. And I want you to know that since your fence butts up against where my fence would be if I put one, if I put a fence right along yours, she is still going to be able to jump. So what is it that you want me to do? Then the wife chimes in and she's like, it is just disrespectful that the dog jumps on our fence and we can see it. All while what she's meaning and telling me is that it is respectful to come into my yard and tell me to do with my yard and my dog. I don't know how that seems normal and right in her head. Then she goes to tell me, well, what you need to do is you need to be out there 24 hours a day monitoring this dog. I looked at her and I was like, well, then you be home 24 hours a day and monitor your dog. I need to tell you this, a little preface here. The dog was outside with the owner when this happened and as we were speaking. My son was literally outside sitting in the middle of the yard with the dogs, grooming them. So they were wanting things that just did not make any sense. So fast forward to 2 weeks. After that, the dog left. They were gone for another 2 weeks. They're still in this side of the country, so they are back here for a visit. So we get up this morning. The dogs have been here for 3 days. There hasn't been any jumping. The dogs rarely bark. We wake up, it's bright and early, 8 o'clock in the morning, and you'll never guess the cards the neighbor has to play. I'll show you. So here we are. Here's my backyard. It's fenced on this side, fenced on that side, and then we didn't need a fence there because their fence butted up against our yard. Now they are having it taken down and moved in a foot because they think they're going to force us to put a fence up right there. It's literally not going to happen. So here's the extension of the fence of what they are doing. If you can see where the lines were, they're moving it in a whole foot. They think it's going to force us to buy a new fence. I'm telling you, it's not. So as you heard me say it twice, we're absolutely not buying another fence. So I just need some comments from the peoples of TikTok. What do you guys think about this? This is wild. Oh, and let me just do a quick little part 3 because I need to show you guys the best part of what is going to happen. And this is going to be the just desserts for the neighbor. This is insane, in my opinion. Okay, so we're doing part 3 of the neighbor that brought his whole fence in a whole foot because he was going to teach us a lesson about our dogs. Let me show you what the best just desserts is going to be. See this part of my fence? Right here, this is the end part, and this back here is our property. So I'm gonna open this and I'm gonna show you that from this post here to the end of those rocks to those cans there, all the way over is going to be fenced in on January, and this entire whole area is going to be turned into kennels. So that way, my whole yard this way will not need to be used by the dogs. So he decided he was going to move his fence to teach us a lesson, and the dogs are getting a brand new kennel. So with them getting a new kennel, they're never going to be in this backyard anyway, or towards his fence. So he is now paying thousands of dollars to move his fence in his property a whole foot. So he's losing a foot of inside the fence area all around, so that way he can teach us a lesson and try to force us to get a fence. I don't know if you guys can see, on this side of the property, which we didn't initially need because his fence butted up to our property line. So that is going to be the just desserts of the psycho neighbor who thinks he's got the upper hand on us. This is the most wildest thing I've ever encountered, and the craziest thing as far as like in my encounters of neighbor like problems. This is so crazy. Oh, and I need to tell you guys, we never really talked to them ever before. We've never had an issue with them. We've only lived here in this area for a year and a half, in this state for a year and a half, and we have never had any problems with these people whatsoever. Now, all of a sudden, we wake up to them moving their fence in a whole foot. They had to take all their vinyl fence down and now redo it. New holes, a different fence in case anything was broken, a foot in. It's utterly ridiculous. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you guys think that we're in the wrong. I cannot wait to hear the people say that I am not allowed to have a dog in my yard jump. I need to hear it. Tell me, you guys.
I can't even hold the phone because I'm shaken. We were just cutting stuff, and Nate yielded me over.
No, okay, hold on. Let's start over. Okay, we're at the house today, cutting down some trees, and our neighbor and another guy walk over, and they kind of stop me, and I come over and I talk to them. Our neighbor goes, well, hey, what about the pump? And I said, what about the pump? And then the guy that was with him is apparently the previous tenant.
I'm this close to saying her name. I'm this close to calling her out.
The
but
previous tenant's boyfriend. And then he says, oh, well, she paid for that well. It's hers. And I said, no, the well is part of the house. It stays with the house. It's a permanent fixture. It doesn't come up.
Yeah. And then he had the audacity to say, well, we'll bring this up in court. I said, we already have a lawyer. Okay. We could sue you.
Yep.
Like,
well, and then I did bring that up to our neighbor, the one that lives there. And I said, listen, our lawyer advised that we prosecute you. And he was kind of taken back, because we have legal means to pursue criminal charges for them tying into the well we own now. But we told the neighbor next door, hey, we don't want to do that. We don't want problems. We don't want to make your life harder than we already have.
Yeah, we said, I understand that you did what you had to do, but from the day we bought the house,
we were setting a clear tone from there.
That what you did is done.
Yeah,
it's no more. And then, oh my gosh,
Amanda's a little on tight right now.
I am, because Nate is so kind, so nice, and I love that about him. But that guy was like, oh, we could sue you. And Nate was like, okay, I said, do we need to bring the cops?
Yeah.
Do I need to call the cops? Oh, no.
What I had told him, I said, listen, if you want to have your girlfriend serve me papers and appear in small claims courts, I'll gladly come.
Yeah, and then they were trying to say that, oh, they went to the family and they got the deed.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. We're going to be getting the house back. No, you're not.
Yep.
Good luck with that. The county cleared it.
Yep. It's already in our name.
Everything is done. By the way, I know how I know they're lying is that guy is dead.
Yes.
That guy is dead.
The previous owners are deceased.
And they have been saying from the beginning that, oh, we haven't been able to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he's dead. And
Yeah.
they've just been lying to us this entire time. And I'm
What-
gonna get another camera.
What I had told the boyfriend, I said, how about this? If you think you have legal rights to the well pump, feel free to bring the documents that have the lease agreement between the previous owners and your girlfriend, and then we can have a real discussion. Because I know that they don't have a lease agreement. I know that they don't, because they keep talking about the previous owner's nephew owned the house. No, from when we purchased the house, we got it from the deceased previous owners.
Yeah, it was still in their name. We went through every single channel to make sure we were in the right.
Yeah.
And
they're pushing us.
They are trying to think we are stupid.
Yeah.
And that we know nothing.
Yeah.
And I was like, we know she went to jail.
Yep.
Do you want us to bring the cops? Like, there's drugs inside. The cops know about that.
That was something I said as well, was along the lines of, hey, if you think that you have a right to this, we can bring the cops here and then we can talk about the pump, and then we can also walk them through the house.
Yeah, and
we can show them everything that's in there.
And I was like, oh, by the way, we already have the deed.
Yeah.
It's in our name.
Yeah, it's too late. The only way that they'll be able to get the house is if they purchase it from us.
And that'll never happen.
Well, I mean, with the right dollar amount, it will.
That'll never happen.
It was a pretty heated situation. Our neighbor, he was kind.
Yeah,
he was nice.
He's great, but the daughter and the boyfriend and all that crap. And when I say boyfriend, this is like a 55-year-old man.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, she did. I got the proof.
Yeah, he goes, she purchased it 30 days ago.
I was like, no, I called him out. I was pissed when he said that. I said, I have had a camera on this property since August 22nd. You are lying.
Yep.
You are lying right to my face right now.
Yeah.
And he didn't know what to say. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah. Well, I'll get the documents from the well company.
That, buddy. We have covered every single basis legally.
Oh,
I'm so shaking.
We've been extremely respectful, and that was kind of like it set us off, because it's like if he would have said something along the lines of, hey, there's a piece of furniture in there that wants, and we think it's hers. Hey, we could probably think about something like that.
Hey, that's our well. Hey, we did everything legally. Hey, we're going to be coming and getting this house back.
Good luck.
Good luck, buddy. I said, we'll have our lawyer contact you.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
Nate said you were no longer welcome on this property. You come, the cops will be called.
Yeah, I made it very clear. I said, I'm letting you know right now, you are no longer welcome on this property, you or your girlfriend. You are not. I said, if you need something and I'm here, feel free to holler over to me. I said, but moving forward, guys, this ends. You are no longer allowed to walk onto our property. It's done. So,
and he's like, well, a couple of chickens. Yeah, no big deal. We get it.
Yeah.
We have been so nice, because every time we come here, he's walking on the property.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, we get it. He's been, he's been decent. And after today, I'm done though. I get what you guys say. Well, they just keep pushing and pushing. And
well, and let's be clear though. I don't think it's our neighbor. I think it's his daughter.
He brought the guy over though.
Well, I think this other guy was real chatty and pushy. So I'm thinking he was probably like,
yeah. And then he's like, oh, I just bought the house down the road for $30,000 cash and blah blah blah. And I told the county I only bought it for $1. Like, why are you telling us stuff?
That's not
like
smart.
That right now?
Yeah, that's not smart. The other guy was talking. I said, all right, we're done here. Well, I mean, all right, so we're done
Nate
here.
Nate shook his hand and we walked away.
The boyfriend was trying to shake my hand. I go, I'm not shaking your hand.
He was still talking.
Yeah. He was trying to shake my hand. I'm like, I'm not shaking your hand. And I just walked away. I'm like, I'm done with this conversation.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. And the surveyor is driving around right now. And he has no idea.
This poor guy has no clue what he's getting into.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah. If we think of something else, we'll update you guys.
Yeah. Crazy.
Hey, there's no one home right now.
That's not true.
No.
I just saw you walk in the house.
Okay.
I need you to move your car because I have a tow truck coming in about 2 minutes. That's why I cleared the place in front of the car.
I'm pretty sure that there's no one at my house right now.
Is there any way you can get the car moved?
No, I'm sorry.
Is there any way you can get
right now? Everyone's at work right now. I'm sorry.
Well, I need somebody to move the car. I just had it cleared.
Ma'am, I did not know this at the beginning of the morning. I am at work. Everyone in my house is... I cannot. I am at work.
I'm going to have them tow your car if you don't get somebody here to move it.
Car, I will call the cops on you. You will not touch my car. The street is public property. I will. Do not.
If I do not find somebody soon, I'll blow up.
Okay, so here's a part 2 / context to the video. I'll post the part 2 clip at the end of this video. So some context to it is that not every single house in my neighborhood has a driveway. I have a driveway, but I also have 4 cars. I personally have 2 cars. I have my personal, which was a car that was parked there, and then my work van, in which that one was gone because I was at work. That morning, I asked my boyfriend, because it was Friday, which is the end of my work week, to move my personal vehicle out of my driveway and onto the street. That way, when I got home from work Friday evening, all I had to do was pull into the driveway instead of myself having to move the cars later that night. And as I said in the video, that morning, she did not inform us that her car was getting towed. Her car is always on the street because she does not have a driveway. My personal car is hardly ever parked on the street because if I'm not using it, it's up against my garage during the work week. when I'm using my work van. I was already gone from work, my sister was already gone from work, and my boyfriend quite literally left for work like 10 minutes prior to that happening. And that's her saying, I just saw you walk in. That was my boyfriend walking in to drop off my keys right before he took off, like within that minute. So she was completely lying when she said, I just saw you walk in, because I look nothing like my boyfriend. My boyfriend's white and blonde. I know she's not just seen me. So she will not let me talk when I'm trying to explain to her that there's no one home. And the closest that we are is at work, which is like 15 minutes. For me, it's more of 20 to 30 minutes away. So I'm trying to explain to her that unfortunately, I cannot do anything at that moment. I am at work, everyone in my house is at work, and I'm not going to call them so that they can come move my car. I wasn't going to ask my boss to do that, especially since the lady said I only had 2 minutes. There's no way I could have gotten there in 2 minutes. That's why I was trying to be nice, and I was apologizing because I understand where she was coming from. She was getting her car towed. But what really pissed me off is once she threatened to tow my car, she ended up just moving her own fucking car out of the way so the tow truck could get to it. So she was not blocked in. She had her husband pull the car out. So I don't know why she was being so aggressive towards me. I don't know why she should talk me to the neighbors, calling me a filthy liar. That's in a separate clip that I cut out because you can hardly hear them. But she went to my next door neighbor and she was like, yeah, she's lying. I literally just saw her walk in. Like, lady, no, you did not. You're tripping. But yeah, that's the story. That person commented underneath my Karen video. And I just want to state that my neighbor is not racist. I truly believe she is not racist. What led her to bang on my door like that on that day was because she was under stress, not because she was racist. There are other ways that people can be aggressive without racism being the reason for their aggression. And honestly, it upsets me that you think that what caused that was racism, because that leads me to believe that you yourself are racist towards white people and you don't give them a chance. That is not acceptable. It is not okay to be racist towards white people, just the way that it's not okay to be racist towards people of color. It's still not okay because you decided to think that she was racist because she was white and banging on my door. That is not okay. She was not being racist, but you were by pointing out her race against mine.
I just had to call the cops for the first time in my entire life. I'm a little rattled. So last night there was this lady just belligerent, screaming in the parking lot. Like she got into some sort of altercation with these two girls that I guess live in her building. Like they're like younger girls. She has to be like 50 something, okay? And she's screaming all this crazy racist stuff, just in general calling them every book in the name. It was terrible. And the cops get there and it's a whole thing. And basically she was screaming at the cops because they wouldn't arrest the girls and they're like, you're the belligerent one here. Anyway, I just heard her screaming in the parking lot again. And I look out, this time it's like a 14-year-old boy she's yelling at, chasing after. He's clearly trying to get away from her. He is screaming that she assaulted his father, all this stuff, okay? I took a short video of that, literally just to show my property manager. And then a little bit later, I hear her yelling out there again. This time, no one else is out there. And she's keying someone's car. And she's like, how about this? How about this? Yeah, I'm gonna do my name. She literally said that. She keyed the car with her own name. And I'm like, oh my God, I was gonna just leave a note and say, I have the video of the person who keyed your car with my phone number, but I was terrified that she would see it first and either take it off or use it to target me, and she would have my phone number at that point. So she keys the car, the back, the front, the sides, the other side, and then gets in her own car, peels out of the parking lot so fast, so dangerous, and she's definitely drunk. So the cops get here, and they are very familiar with her. Apparently last night was not like the first time they've had an issue with her. Get ready for this plot twist. You're not even ready. It was her own car. The car is registered to her. So the working theory is the boyfriend that she beat up and that little kid ran away from, not little kid, he was like 14, but she went out, keyed the car that I guess she bought for him, and gave herself thousands of dollars worth of damage on a car that she owns. And they're like, we can't press charges for keying her own car. Like, she could do that if she wants, I guess. But they're like, we're going to document it just because there's so many other things going on with her. But like, oh my God. Have you ever gotten so mad you key your own car? Is that relatable?
So, I wasn't going to do it, but I'm doing it now. I bought this house about 2 months ago. Got a bunch more, a little bit out front. But I bought it because I got the land, got the outbuildings, plenty of room for the kids to ride go-karts and all that, you know. Got 8 kids running around here, need some room. And I get a call from the old lady yesterday that these guys next door decided to call zoning on me because I let a guy rent the building out back for storage for his fence company. Cool with me, I don't care. But zoning says that I need to get a commercial property. Little do they know, their garage right there and that fence right there is on my property. And little does the lady that called the zoning know that she is already pissed off the zoning guy. So I'll put updates up if anybody's interested. Okay, so this is gonna be a short video. I'm on break for lunch, going to get a pack of cigarettes. When I posted that video the other day, I never thought I'd get 100 views, let alone 1.54 whatever million, and followers, 75,000 followers. I don't even know what to say. I appreciate everybody, and there's more to the story, and I'll post more videos, I guess, now that everybody's invested and interested. Thank you. You know, I posted the video just to vent, and that's what it was. I didn't expect, like I said, 100 views, and let alone 5 followers, talking 75,000. Thank you guys, I appreciate it. Well, if your kids are supposed to go to the other parent's house for the weekend and that plan falls through because they bail and they want to go ride go-karts, but you got a hole in the tire, just plug it. There you go. Just plug it. See how long this lasts. Okay, so here, to clarify a few things, that white stake is a property stake. I don't know how long ago it was there. It's been there forever, according to the guy that rents from me. And that stake, their garage would be and or is on my property. That's the least of my concerns. I made the video because she called the zoning office on me, and they're trying to make my land commercial land. And the reason she called zoning on me, apparently she has a problem with the guy that rents from me, and she's had a problem with him for some years now. And I was talking to him, and he told me he's been renting this pole barn, this half of my pole barn, for 15, 20 years from my neighbor's dad before he passed away. I talked to him before I moved in, and you know, the guy's 60 plus years old. He just wanted to stay here for a couple more years till he can retire. I told him we'd make it happen if I bought the house. I bought the house, he's still here. Now the issue with the neighbor, her complaint is the mess. Like I said before, the man runs a fencing company, and yeah, he has some stuff stored back here. That's what I'm running for. I'm running him the pole barn and this back lot so he can store stuff for his company. Now, the garage being on my property, everybody keeps saying, tear it down. I want to see it torn down. That's a whole nother legal issue. I'm waiting on the zoning commissioner who works for the county. He's pulling paperwork for me, and he's going to get my property lines so that way they're declared and everything, we can move forward legally. Now, that's going to take a few weeks, but I'm going to try to keep everybody updated. So I hope that cleared up a few things. The garage is not really my main concern. I don't care. I do care, but it's not my main concern. My main concern is not having my property switch to commercial land, because that will make my taxes go up. And what aggravated me so bad is that I'm kind of an innocent bystander just because I bought the property and I allowed the man to stay, and she has a problem with him. No idea why. She's had a problem with him for the last 10 years, and the zoning commissioner had told me he's got a 4-inch stack of complaints in a file, or a 4-inch thick file of complaints over the last 5 years from her. So hope that cleared some of it up. But I will keep updating as this goes, and if I hear anything from the zoning commissioner, and yeah, I'll let you guys know. Blue collar, white trash, I guess, living. See what's going on around here on a Saturday. When your buddy calls on a Saturday and asks you to help him out because he ain't got a garage and can't do his own oil change, you give him a hand. You tell him, help, bring the kids. The kids are here. Let's have fun. And when you got kids that are too little for the go-karts and stuff, upgrade one of the little Power Wheels for them. Good to go. Everybody have a fun, safe weekend. So aside with all the drama the other day with fucking Karen starting shit, you know, they said buy a house, it'd be fun. Yeah, until you find a leak in the roof and you want to know where it's coming from. Oh, I found the fucking leak. There's more than one. But as soon as all this Ohio rain stops, I'll take care of it. Fun times. Told you guys I'm never fucking not busy.
Sometimes someone comes into your life that changes everything, raises the standards, makes you laugh and makes you feel like you. There is something about them that you can't even describe. And you're so scared to lose them because you know that you won't find it in anyone else.
Yeah, that right there, I really don't or didn't care about the garage. When I bought the property, I had a good idea that the garage was across my property line, but I wasn't exactly sure because these aerials aren't exact, so I wasn't going to go off of it. I was going to do my due diligence, call a survey company, have them come out here, and after the survey was done, I had planned on addressing it. The fact that pissed me off is that she went behind my back instead of being a neighbor, knocking on my door, whatever. She called the county for zoning because she has a problem with the guy that rents my building. The guy was renting my building before I moved in here. I was aware that he was renting the building. I had a conversation with him about renting the building, and he didn't want to move. He wants to stay for a couple more years until he can retire. He was actually renting that from her dad. So whatever problem she has with him is beyond me. She hasn't told me what the problem is with him. He doesn't know what the problem is she has with him. So, and as far as my zoning on my property goes, it's really none of her concern what my property is zoned as. That's what started this. I didn't start this. I would have went over there next door and been like, hey, your guys' garage is across the line, you know, how do we resolve this? Her husband's actually a very nice man, and I like my space. I don't want to have to tear down the man's garage, but I'm trying to be as polite as I can. You guys seen the video? I know the sound was shitty the other day, but to come flag me down while I'm riding around having fun with my kids on my property, to tell me that I don't own what I think I own, and I only own the house and this, that, and the other, I'm not going to argue. Simple as it is. I'm going to go about this the right way, the legal way. It's going to take a little bit of time, and if anybody wants, I'm going to keep updating. I'm going to keep posting updates as soon as I figure something out. Said, the county commissioner, the county zoning commissioner told me give him a few weeks. He's going to do some digging and try to see what's going on with the property lines and what's going to happen with the zoning, and I'm just waiting. So it is what it is. So since everybody's beating down my comment door on an update, I gotta watch what I say. I was informed to kind of watch how much information I put out there, but I'll give a little update. I have been in contact with the title company. I've been in contact with the zoning commissioner. I did find out that there was an easement drawn up between the two sisters, the one I bought the house from, the one I got the property from, and my neighbor. The question now is, do I have to abide by that agreement since I was not aware of it at the time of closing on my house? Like I said, I can't put out too much information. I'm looking into attorneys, And for everybody that's telling me the reverse or the adverse possession laws in Ohio, I've looked into it a little bit. Statute of limitations for taking over property that's not yours and somebody else's is 21 years. And there's more to that too. You have to try and take care of the land and not have the original owner push back or fight you in any way. There's a lot to it. So I'm not worried about that at all. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out my next step according to the easement, since I was not aware of it at the time of closing. So I said I got the title company looking into it. The zoning commissioner's looking into it. As far as the property lines go, their garage is on my property. The easement draws it out, but again, since I wasn't aware of it, I might not have to abide by it. If that's the case, then I'm lucky and I will proceed in a legal manner. I know everybody tells me they want to see the petty, but me personally, the minute I start being petty, karma is gonna kick my ass, and that's the last thing I need right now. I got enough going on around here and dealing with my other house that I'm still trying to sell. I do appreciate everybody's support, don't get me wrong. So hope you guys have a good day, and that's just a little update. And in other news in my life, anyone who cares or seen my rain video from the other day when I was headed up to Michigan and got stuck in that storm, this is what I bought. I had to fix one of the forks, it was bent, so I'm working on that. And Friday I acquired that beauty for myself, waiting on tires and new inner tubes because they're dry rotted. But yeah, me and the kids will be out here running around, racing the dirt bikes and getting the go-karts out. And for anybody who thinks or says that that is a street, that right there is actually my driveway. And anybody who's been following, that garage is on my property, and my property line is 22 feet over to about that tree line right there. So stay posted, I'll keep posting stuff. Thanks, guys. So that's actually my neighbor. That's actually the neighbor. Me and my old lady went to the rib off earlier tonight. Got home a little bit ago. Go through my comments and checking my stuff. I see that. That's great. So apparently, I'm a liar. I'm this, I'm that. I'm slandering her. I never once mentioned her name. But to sit there and say that I'm throwing trash and garbage into your yard, which technically is my yard because I pay taxes on it. It's my property. And yes, those property lines are correct. There's stakes out here. I've already marked them. I've already walked them. I've measured them. The property lines are right. The garage goes through my property. Her driveway is on my property. So, I mean, like I said, everybody knows I've got 8 kids here, which 2 of my kids are 9. 1 of them is 8. I got my grandson who's 4. So yeah, if kids are outside eating food, having ice cream, popsicles, and they don't throw their stuff away, yeah, you know, shit's gonna blow around, I get it. But as far as throwing garbage in our yard, we actually literally have a dumpster on our property because the one little garbage can that the county gave us wasn't enough. Like, we literally have a dumpster on our property for our house, a dumpster, which gets picked up every 2 weeks. And this was our original tiny little garbage can. And it, you know, again, given that we just moved in here 2 months ago, 3 months ago now, we still had a bunch of stuff to throw away, a bunch of boxes to deal. So we're still kind of getting settled in, you know, we're still getting rid of stuff. And that one little garbage can just wasn't enough for our house. And on top of it, I've been burning the boxes. We throw away what we need to throw away. Nobody's throwing garbage anywhere where it doesn't belong. You guys have seen my videos of me on the river. Why would I pull just a simple pop bottle out of the river if I'm gonna throw garbage? into somebody else's yard. I'm not that disrespectful. I was raised better than that, first of all. You guys seen the video where I was very respectful when she cornered me in my driveway with my kid, called me white trash, but I'm the asshole. Cool. I'll remember that. I'm the asshole. Sounds good to me. So here's a quick update on why I haven't been updating. I got laid off at the end of July. Before everybody goes, oh, that sucks. It's fine. Job's coming to an end. Layoffs happen. I'll get another job call. I'm not worried about that. In the meantime of that, my first week off, I'm trying to sit here and enjoy myself. Sheriff shows up and serves me and my old lady both with TPOs. Bye, I love you. So, yeah, that happened. I can't really get into that. I was threatened with arrest if I, whatever. So, not gonna get into that right now. Waiting on a court date still. So in the meantime, that's pretty much why I've been updating. In the meantime of being laid off, I've just been trying to take care of shit around the house. Been busy. So this is what it is, and everything happens for a reason. After court, once court date gets set and after court happens, I'll give you guys another update and we'll see how that goes. I'll let you guys know. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. Hope everybody has a good day. Bye. And I was in the house getting some more food ready, and this is what I come outside to. So yeah, we're dealing with this all because of a football hitting the privacy fence, I guess. So we'll see how this goes. So again, while I'm sitting here at my house minding my own business, eating dinner, knock on the door. Let's see who was here. Imagine that. Police got called on me again. Let's see why they got called on me. The police got called on me. They're actually going to talk to her, so whatever. They got called on me because I parked my car on my property and somebody's confused about what's what and whose is whose, and there is an easement, which I'm fighting, and the easement from the center of the street all the way down 225 feet to this post here is where the easement ends. I'm pretty well past the easement, so I don't know why you're going to call the cops on somebody for parking their vehicle on their own property. Well, just to be neighborly and stop wasting the police officer's time, I told him I would move my car gladly. That's what I'm going to do. Well, you guys have a good day. I'm having a great one. Sorry, had to cut that off for a second while I moved my car. Yeah, the funny part about this whole situation is even the officers know how ridiculous this is. So, it's okay with me. The more they call, the less that they're going to listen. So, it's a civil matter. Nothing the cops can do. They just politely asked me if I could move it just to be neighborly. I probably shouldn't, but I don't feel like having them get called anymore and waste any more time coming out here. I already told them if they want to visit me on their day off, hey man, I'll set some beers out and you guys come hang out with me for all I care. I'm sure they got more important shit to do besides come to my house for me parking in my own grass. Can't wait till we go to court and get this settled. It'd be nice. Well, hope you guys all have a good day. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Thanks for caring, I guess. Yay, my 7-day ban is finally over. Anybody who's been following and watched the last video, there was actually 2 videos. The second video was of the officer over at the neighbors trespassing her and I guess getting her side of the story. As far as the video of the neighbor driving through the grass and out my driveway that my daughter took and sent to me,
That's why I didn't post it. And as of right now, I was informed by the officer that day. He read through the protection order that I guess she had on hand. He informed me probably best for me not to post it if it has her face in it, because the protection order does say no contact. It covers the TikTok videos, which I guess she's really pissed off about. Even though it's my life, things that are happening in my life, so I'm putting my life on the internet. Yeah, so I probably won't be posting that video right yet. I talked to my attorney. They're trying to figure out a deal and a way to settle this out of court, which would be great because I don't have a bunch of money to be paying my attorney. Yeah, I'm just still on the whole thing of, if you put a protection order against somebody, why would you drive through their grass and trespass on their property? Oh, and to boot, when I came home from work Friday, she was standing in her backyard behind the fence. I don't know if she was waiting for me to come home or what. I got out of my car and all I heard was fucking white trash. Like, that's really being an adult there at 50 plus years old. Way to be the bigger person. So everybody's saying that, oh, it's just tire tracks. I get it. I understand that, but it's still the principle. It's the principle. You don't, if you want people to respect your shit, respect other people's shit. It's still my yard. It's, yeah, I understand. It's just tire tracks in the grass, but it actually is rutted. The yard was flooded. It was all soaking wet. And I did landscaping. I know what it takes to fix that. It may not cost $1 million to fix it, but it's still a pain in the ass. It's still the point. It's still the purpose that, you know, you tore it up. I don't give a shit what it is. It was on purpose. You know, you don't go and do something to somebody and then play the victim. That's actually what's a lot of what's going on, is that you start some shit and then play the victim. Like, whatever, I get it, but it was a legit reason for me to call the cops, so that's what I did. I'm gonna have to make another video to this. Okay, so extension from the last video. Once the cops showed up, kind of told him what was going on, the whole everything, because he hasn't been here yet. Told him what was going on with the easement and the neighbor and all this, and why I had actually called him for driving through my yard, and informed him of the TPO. And at the point of me calling, it was property damage and trespassing. So he went over there, he verbally trespassed her. To answer one of the questions in the comments from the last video I just posted, no, she did not get in trouble. He just verbally trespassed her, came back, told me what he had told her, pretty much, you know, that stay off the property. He informed me that she thinks that my driveway, the big stone driveway, is a shared driveway, and that's not the case. The easement states that the asphalt driveway that leads to her garage is actually the shared driveway, not my driveway. But anyway, he told her, you know, don't trespass on my property. Don't come into the stone driveway. If she does and I catch her, then I have the right to, again, call them for trespassing, and maybe if it happens, that they'll do something at that point. The only reason that nothing happened is because she had not been trespassed previously by any of the other police that have came. So he trespassed her, and with everything going on in court and attorneys involved, he deemed it a civil matter. And I mean, I can't be mad at him for doing his job. He was actually very polite. Talked to him for a little bit. He told me he's seen the videos. He actually asked me, he's like, are you the one with the videos? Yeah, I am. So thanks for the support from the local police around here. It's pretty funny that every cop that's been here except for one sheriff has seen my videos. Kind of cracks me up. So within my 7-day ban after all that, and then her calling me white trash on Friday when I came home from work, I have got cameras. I did install cameras, so if anything else happens, now I will have the camera footage from those, and I got Ring cameras. I'm actually really impressed with the sound quality and video quality. They're not cheap, but I'm glad I made the investment. It just finally pushed me to that point that I'm not gonna sit here and just, my word on everything. Now I'm gonna have actual proof without having to pull my phone out and record and put it in her face. Take 27 because my ADHD makes me fucking ramble in all kinds of places. So I know I haven't posted in a while, and I haven't posted for good reason. Try to keep this in somewhat of chronological order here. There's been a bit that has happened. I had an attorney. I fired him. Try to do this in a nutshell. But the reason I haven't been posting anything is because November 12th, I actually got arrested for one of the last videos I posted. Anybody that's been following me, pretty sure you guys know the video. It's not up there anymore. I was forced to take it down. Yeah, when I got arrested, the cops showed up at my door Friday morning with a warrant to take me to jail for posting a video. It's as ridiculous as it sounds, trust me. I went to court on the 9th, met up with my new attorney, and she talked to the prosecutor, and even the prosecutor at this point doesn't know what to do with the charges against me for the video. So I got another court date set for January, and that court case is set for my other court case after my other court case that I have in January as well. So I got that shit going on. Yeah, was a $10,000 bond, no 10% to get out. So I got that. $2,500 I wasted on the attorney that I fired, plus another $2,500 in my new attorney, plus another $1,500 to the same attorney that I just hired for the criminal charges, plus $1,200 in lost wages for being in jail for fucking a weekend. That's just awesome. Shit's just racking up so fast. But on the good side, I did get the roof done. The roofers came the week after I got out of jail, knocked the roof out in 3 days, so thanks for that. Appreciate that. American Steel Roofing, give them a shout out. Dylan and the company. But yeah, I haven't been posting anything. I wanted to talk to my attorney because I got arrested over a video and I need to know what I can do, can post, can say. So if I'm kind of vague, there's a reason for it. But I will keep updating. I did call a survey company, hired a survey company. The funny thing about the survey company is the same company that originally did the easement on my property. They won't be back out till January, but I got them hired and they're scheduled to come out, so wait for that to happen.
So this video is for any of my potential new neighbors, since the other people that started all the shit against me moved out. Just know, occasionally I like to do dumb shit and have a fucking fire in my yard without fucking somebody calling the EPA on me. And yeah, I work on shit in the garage and I build stupid shit and I like to make noise. So
Hey, wait a minute.
if you don't like that, I hope you do. This is to any potential fucking new neighbors. Come hang out, drink a beer. Let's start a fucking fire. Don't call the fucking cops and the EPA on me. Thank you.
I've been beefing with my neighbors real bad.
I am gonna call the police. I am gonna call the police.
Okay.
All right, that's fine.
All right, have a good one.
So I wrote this little piece to update you guys on what's been going on. I call this Black in the Cul-de-sac. Pink skin, pink pants, pink petty parade. Complaining about my fence to agencies of the state. I came with a survey and property lines laid. She came with the bullshit in hopes to delay. See, what they didn't realize is that beyond my fence lied more of my property behind the house they rent. She called the cops 3 times as if I staged a vicious attack. But my fence is still up, and I am still black, just minding my business in the cul-de-sac. In part 1 of Black in the Cul-de-sac, I did not give you guys any context, so I'm here with a little bit of a prequel to yesterday's events. Two little canines that can barely breathe, with the strength of two boars, busted my fence with ease. I promised to repair, to then only go ghost, and then put up a new fence attached to my post. I spoke to the landlords, looking for resolve, for them to only come back with lies. This fence is ours. I asked for the survey. They brought something fake, an altered copy, hoping my land they could take. I got my hands on the real survey, outing them as fibbers. I had plans for my next fence. I needed something bigger. I thought I had solved the problem, but boy was I wrong. Their pets were relentless, part gopher, part dog. He put Cookie through the ringer. She even lost some hair. I reached out to the landlord. I was in despair. My baby was balding. The landlord said, "Not my problem. Feel free to call my attorneys." I said, "Okay, let's let animal control join us on this journey." Warning after warning, ticket after ticket. Both landlord and tenant pissed. Evil plans to fix it. They filed a complaint to code enforcement, saying my fence was on their land. Unfortunately for them, I already informed authorities of their plans. Code enforcement, animal control, police confirmed what I already knew. My fence, my property. There's nothing you can do. Now they're mad that we're moving it back to where it belongs. Pink Pants, still singing the same old songs. And once all is said and done and the fence is pushed back, I'm still black, minding my business in this cul-de-sac. Welcome back to part 3 of Black in the Cul-de-Sac. I know you've been waiting for an update, and now I have it for you. This past weekend, we claimed back our land, but Pinky tried everything to thwart our plans. Pushing junk against the fence as if that would make us flee. A DIY planter box, as if that would stop entry. Stop the building of the fence, or the story of the century. But none of it worked. I mean, we were on the side of right. My engineer husband installed the fence at the speed of light. There was a post at the front where we allowed them to attach their gate. He removed that too, unsealing their backyard's fate. Now the gopher dogs can no longer roam free in the back. Now no more alopecia, Cookie's hair is growing back. Her daughter commenting on my TikToks, dirty looks on the way to school. If I know one thing, she's breaking a major rule. Stay out of grown folks' business. Close your ears, your mouth, your lids. And as for the mom, stay out of homeowner's biz. Code enforcement stamped approve and gave Cookie all the love. And I heard they're moving out. Thank the Lord above. Though the story finds its end, life keeps writing new. There's always parts of life worth poetry, always stories breaking through. I thought after this fence debacle, I could just relax. Except for the fact, the Ding Dong Ditch Gang is back. Alright, I gotta hurry. These niggas is biting me.
Okay, I am crashing out and I need somebody to listen to me because I'm tired of bugging my friends with this. So this is going to be a story time about my psycho ex-neighbor who is still torturing me to this day, even though we don't live in the same complex anymore, okay? So listen, please. Okay, we're going to call her Mary, okay? So my husband and I moved above Mary in 2021. The first day we moved in, I'm unpacking, putting things away. My husband is at work, and she comes up to my door and she says, "I'm sorry, I know you just moved in, but can you please turn your music down?" Okay, it's like 11 in the morning. I had all the windows open. There was so much beautiful light. Okay, I'm sorry, the sound travels. So I closed the windows and I turned down the music a little bit, okay? And I was like, a couple weeks go by, we don't hear from Mary at all. She gives me smiles and says hi to my dog. And I was like, okay, so it was just that one instance. Maybe it was a little loud. The apartment had thin walls, whatever. No, that was not it. Then summertime comes, okay? We get an air conditioning unit. It's a standing unit, and every single day, as soon as I would turn it on, she starts banging on the ceiling with her broom. From there, it just escalates. Every time I walk in my apartment, she starts banging on her ceiling with her fucking broom. Every time I'd walk to my kitchen, there was one spot on the floors that would creak. Every time I'd walk on that spot, she'd bang on the ceiling. Every time I'm putting my clothes away and I'm closing my dresser drawers, she bangs on the ceiling. Every time she can hear my radio, she's yelling through the floor, "Shut up! You're too loud! Shut up!" And then it gets worse. Then she resorts to calling the cops on us. Every single day for almost 2 weeks. Every time I'd wake up and I'd walk to my kitchen to go get water, she's banging on the ceiling. I got woken up at 7 in the morning to cops at my door saying, "Oh, we're getting noise complaints about you." I'm in bed. What do you mean you're getting noise complaints about me? I am in my bed. You woke me up out of my bed. And then they had the audacity to tell me that I need to figure out a way to get along with her. I'm not doing anything. So then I decided I'm done with this. I'm not talking to her anymore. I decided I'm going to get property management involved. So I started recording every time she'd be yelling at us through the floor, every time she's banging on the ceiling, and what we're doing. She's banging on the ceiling, I'm sitting on my couch. She's banging on the ceiling, I'm walking to my fucking kitchen to get water. What am I doing wrong? Then my property management company tells me that she's been complaining about us, but they haven't been telling us because she's done this to the last 3 tenants that lived in my unit. 3 tenants. 3 different people before me that signed that lease that had to deal with this. And they all complained to property management about her. So now I'm saying you need to do something about this. I'm not going to be the one to just sit here and take this. I have all of this video evidence that she's being crazy. You have all of these police reports. I'm not doing anything. So they said, okay, we're going to come to her unit. We're going to listen while you do whatever you're doing. And we're going to hear from her perspective what's going on because maybe it is loud. All right. So they go to her unit. I turn on my air conditioner. My landlord is recording a video to send to me because she was on my side. Okay. She's recording a video to show me what it sounds like. At most, it sounds like a refrigerator humming. Maybe, if that. Okay? That's it. It's not loud at all. She's fucking crazy. So then property management tells me, okay, here's what we're going to do. You buy soundproofing. Buy some soundproofing, put it under the air conditioner, maybe put some blankets under it so the vibration isn't as loud and hopefully it won't bother her as much. Okay. So we spent like a couple $100 buying car soundproofing panels to put under the air conditioner. We put them under our bed in our room. We put them behind picture frames. I was trying to soundproof our apartment to please her. It doesn't work. A couple weeks go by. She's still banging and calling the cops on us. All the time, by the way. They're coming to our door weekly, and I have to explain to them the situation every single time. And every single time, they go, oh, okay. And they leave. Okay. So then one night at like 8 p.m., we are on our couch watching TV, and I get a knock at my door. I open the door. It's her. She reeks of alcohol, and she's slurring her words. So I'm like, oh, she's about to flip out on us. I pull out my phone. I start recording her. She is going off about how we're the worst neighbors and how I don't even remember what she said because I blacked it out, but she just spews drunk babble on how we are the worst and she doesn't want us to live there anymore and we need to move if we're going to be so loud and we're not considerate and blah, 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 whatever. And I'm just sitting there recording her like, okay, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm not doing anything. So then I send that video to my property management and I told them you need to let us out of our lease or you need to evict her. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I cannot deal with the cops coming to my door weekly because of some psycho. Finally, they agreed. They let us out of the lease. We moved out. We moved into this apartment now, and everything was great for 3 years. 3 years. One day, I noticed a car on our street that looks oddly familiar. It's hers. I'm thinking, oh, what is her car doing here? She must be visiting someone, right? She moved into my new complex. She lives by me again. She lives on the other side of my new complex, so I don't have to live right next to her, but I see her all the time going to do laundry, and every time she walks by me, she goes, what? Who did I piss off in this world that this is my karma? I am a good person, okay? I don't know what I did to deserve this, but she fucking lives next to us now. And ever since she moved in, we've been getting so many more emails from this property management company saying, we need to be considerate of our noise in the complex. We need to be considerate of our neighbors. Please turn your TVs down after 10. It's because of her, right? Like, she has to be complaining about the people that she lives next to now. So now, what do? I want to do something. So I'm thinking, should I pull my property manager, who lives right next to me, aside and show her the videos that I have of her and be like, is this the girl complaining? Is this her? You shouldn't have let her move in here. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. She saw me today walking up the stairs and she's like, I will fight you. I want to like really inconvenience her. Like, I want to do something that's going to make her life really annoying, but I don't want to do anything illegal. What should I do? I need ideas. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. I will have updates for you because I am going to tell my property manager as soon as I see her.
I have a crazy story for you, and it's been a minute since I've had a good crazy one. All right, so last year we got a new neighbor, and immediately upon them moving in, they were an issue. So what you need to know about our neighborhood is, one, we're in an HOA, and our HOA is pretty strict. We like it because it keeps everything very uniformed and very nice out here. The other thing you need to know is some of the houses out here are 8 to 10 feet apart, and others are only 4 to 6 feet apart. All right, so there's the facts. Let me tell you the crazy. New neighbors move in, and they decide that they're going to make improvements to their front yard. Also, they're going to put a fence up. So they call the surveyor. Surveyor comes out and marks where the fence is going to go. Old neighbor sees the marks, goes over there, knocks on the door, and very politely says, "Hey, I saw your marks. I just wanted to give you a heads up. Per the HOA, your fence cannot start in your front yard. It has to start on the back edge of your house and go out." The new neighbors were like, "We don't care. We're going to do what we want to do." Old neighbor says, "Okay, just wanted to give you a heads up. That could be a costly mistake." Then she says, "Hey, we share a flower bed in the front of our yard. I usually maintain it because the people that used to own your house were elderly. I love yard work. They didn't love yard work, but they would pitch in for the materials. Do you still want to keep doing that?" And they said, "No, get your crap and get." She was like, "Okay." So the next day she goes outside, and the flower bed was edged in bricks. So she went outside and she got her bricks off of their side. All of a sudden, a cop car pulls up. She doesn't think anything of it. They told her to get her stuff and get. So she's working. The police walk up and they're like, "Ma'am, are those your bricks? What are you doing? Is that your flower bed?" And she looks up and she's like, "No, it's not my flower bed. These are my bricks. We have new neighbors. Our neighbor said that they didn't want me to do the flower beds anymore, so I'm taking my bricks." Police are like, "Well, that's why we're here, yada, yada." Right about this time, I'm getting home. I kind of see everything and I'm like, you did not just call the police on her. I just knew what it was. So they're in a heated debate. All right. The next day I get home and the fence company has already come and put the fence up. And sure enough, it is on the front corner of their house, all the way down their side yard, all the way to the backyard. Old neighbor, because their houses are only 4 feet apart, old neighbor's bushes are inside their fence. Like, they're planted on the outside, but they've grown inside the fence. Old neighbor walks out, looks at it, realizes she can't even walk down the side of her house anymore, and that's the side where her air handler is. So she's like, "You've got to be kidding me." So she starts taking her bushes out. They called the cops on her again. Cops come out. They're like, "What's the problem?" She said, "I have no idea. These are my bushes. They were inside her fence. So I have to remove them because I have to be able to get to my air handler." The police are like, "Okay, what's the problem?" New neighbors are like, "She's touching our fence." The next day, the new neighbors are in their front yard. Now, the half of their flower bed has been torn up. So new neighbors are in the front yard and they're working on their flower beds, right? Old neighbor turned her sprinklers on. Just turned them on, doused them. So they called the cops again. It gets better. Come back for part 2.
Let me just say this plainly. Some people are absolutely unhinged, and nothing brings that out faster than proximity. We romanticize the idea of community, of knowing your neighbors, of borrowing sugar and waving from the porch. But the reality, some of the most chaotic, boundary obliterating, privacy invading people you will ever encounter in your life are living 12 feet away from you. And once they move in, your peace is gone. Just gone. Let's start with the HOA story, because this one has me genuinely heated on behalf of a woman I have never met in my life. Here, you have an old neighbor, established, respectful, clearly someone who takes pride in where she lives, who goes out of her way to be kind to new people moving in. She knocks on the door, politely, gives them a heads up about the HOA fence rules, even offers to keep maintaining the shared flower bed like she's been doing. That is the behavior of a decent human being. That is what good neighbors do. And what did she get for it? No. Get your crap and get. That sentence alone tells you everything you need to know about these new neighbors. You haven't even fully unpacked, and you're already that hostile to someone who came to you in good faith. That's not just rude. That's a personality. That's a way of moving through the world that doesn't change. And sure enough, it doesn't change. They put the fence up exactly where they were warned not to put it, in violation of the HOA, encroaching on the old neighbor's ability to even access her own air handler. Think about that. This woman can no longer walk down the side of her own house because of a fence that should have never been built where it was built. Her bushes are now trapped inside someone else's fence. And when she tries to remove her own property from an impossible situation, they called the cops. Again, 3 times. They called the cops 3 times in what sounds like the span of about 48 hours, over bricks, over bushes, over property that was never theirs to begin with. Now, I want to be fair here. Calling the police on a neighbor retrieving her own bricks in her own shared flower bed that she maintained for years is a choice. It's a very specific kind of choice. The narrator of that story clocked it immediately. You did not just call the police on her. I just knew what it was. Yeah, we all know what it is. There's a long, documented history in this country of weaponizing police against black neighbors for doing absolutely nothing wrong. And the old neighbor getting harassed 3 times in 2 days for retrieving her own property fits a pattern that is impossible to ignore. The sprinkler moment, though, that was the old neighbor saying, I see you and I have options. Petty? Maybe. Satisfying? Completely. Now, the first story, the one with the neighbor who gets arrested, that one is a slow burn of something being deeply wrong. This is a woman who from day one had an issue with a black family doing normal things on their own property. A father cutting his daughter's grass at 9 in the morning, something he's always done on a regular schedule. And she comes outside to complain about a car allegedly blocking a mailbox that the mail carrier won't even reach for another 7 hours. The narrator handled it with more grace than most people would. But that look she gave, that was a boundary being set without words. And the neighbor understood it. Then you start noticing the pattern. She never asks the black lawn care workers about their rates. She cuts her own grass or lets it grow wild. But when a white police officer moves in across the way, she walks right over and asks him to cut her yard. Make that make sense. Make it make any kind of sense. And then the escalation. A mattress sitting out for weeks, brown, stained, clearly old, burning things illegally inside city limits, animal control showing up, police waiting in her driveway, her getting arrested, cursing, trying to run from 5 officers, eventually being carried to an SUV. But the detail that lingers, the one that genuinely unsettles, is the older woman, the mom or whoever she was, who used to be seen regularly, who the fire department came out for in full emergency response mode, who hasn't been seen since. The narrator says it out loud. I pray that she hasn't done anything to that lady. And honestly, that question just sits there. What happened to her? Why did she disappear right around the time 2 fire trucks showed up Why is there a stained mattress being burned in the street? Here's my unfiltered opinion on all of this. Neighbors from hell aren't always loud. Sometimes they're the slow burn kind, the ones who make life quietly miserable through entitlement, hostility, and a deep conviction that the rules don't apply to them. The HOA neighbors ignored a direct warning and created a legal and physical mess in under 48 hours. The arrested neighbor spent years making small, targeted power moves before whatever she was hiding finally caught up with her. What both situations have in common is this. The hell part isn't random chaos. It's intentional. It's chosen. These are people who decided that their comfort, their preferences, their property lines, their need for control mattered more than basic human decency toward the people living next to them. And when people like that are operating with racial bias layered on top of that entitlement, it becomes something uglier than just a bad neighbor story. It becomes something that has real consequences for real people. The narrator in the arrest story handled years of microaggressions with dignity and kept her business to herself. The old neighbor in the HOA story responded to hostility with patience before eventually turning on the sprinklers. And honestly, good for her. Both of these women were minding their business, and both of them had someone else's chaos inserted into their lives, uninvited. And that's the real thing about neighbors from hell. You didn't choose them. You can't always escape them. And sometimes the only thing you can do is document everything, know your rights, and wait. Because eventually, the chaos these people carry inside them finds its way outside. It always does.